back to my channel. My name is Haylie and this is Nosy Posy. What do you want? What do you want from me? Oh, thanks for the kiss. That was delicious. So yummy. Do you want to go outside? Yeah? You want to go outside? Okay, let's go. This past weekend, I actually went dress shopping for my wedding dress. And I did end up finding my dream dress, and it was at a great price, and I'm very excited about that. But I wanted to film this video today to go over my experience at a small boutique versus a David's Bridal. I am actually a bridal consultant at the small boutique that I attended. However, my experience there was very typical for what all of our brides experience. It wasn't anything different. And my experience at David's Bridal was a little bit disappointing, to say the least. And in this video, I wanted to compare both experiences for you so that you kind of know what to expect when you do go dress shopping. So if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and keep on watching. This past Saturday was actually my birthday, and my mom, my grandma, and my future mother-in-law all came to my town to go shopping with me, and it was so much fun, and I had just the best time, and I'm really glad that I found my dress while they were with me. However, I did end up purchasing a dress at David's Bridal, and I'm gonna be honest, I wish that I had purchased a dress at a smaller boutique, somewhere local, even if it wasn't the one that I work at, because I really did not enjoy my experience there, and I was kind of disappointed that that's where I purchased my dress from, even though I did get an incredible dress at a great price. I just want to say that David's Bridal was not a horrible experience for me. There was nothing really that negative. It's just that as a bridal consultant at a smaller shop, I have worked with hundreds of brides, I've sold lots of dresses, and I know how magical that experience could be for a bride because I've created that for them. But at David's Bridal, I did not feel magic, I did not feel excited about my dress purchase, and in fact, I felt a little bit bitter at the end of the day, and it made me kind of want to return my dress even though I absolutely loved it. And this experience wasn't horrible, it wasn't anything to leave a bad review about or complain about, really. I just want to communicate what those experiences are between a boutique or a David's Bridal to you so that you know what to expect going into both experiences so that you're not disappointed at the end of the day. So at first we went to the shop that I work at, and right now because of COVID we are only allowing each bride to bring 3 guests, and we are limiting appointment times to 1.5 hours per bride and only 1 appointment per hour and a half. So that means that as a bride right now during COVID, you will have 3 of your closest people with you, and you will be the only bride in the store, which is very exclusive feeling, and I love that. That being said, I was the only bride in there. I got to look around and choose dresses. I got to try on maybe about 8 dresses because of the time frame. And during that time, I was allowed to be in the room by myself in the fitting room, get into the dress, and then my consultant would come in and zip me up when I was ready for her. Felt very comfortable. I didn't feel exposed, and I did not feel rushed or pressured. And that is an experience that we try to cultivate with every single bride that comes into our shop. I didn't love any of the dresses that I tried on. There was one that I considered buying, but it just didn't give me that feeling that it was my dress. There were a few things about it that I didn't love, and I will show you a picture of that right now. And then I tried on these dresses as well. This dress was my mom's favorite, and I did not like it at all. It was way too tight. And then this dress I liked quite a bit, but something about it was just a little bit itchy. And then this dress was also gorgeous, but it just felt way too tight on me. I didn't feel comfortable. Then we went and got lunch, and then after lunch we went to my appointment at David's Bridal, and I had an hour at David's Bridal. Yes, that was 30 minutes less than my appointment time at the smaller shop, but it was still plenty of time, especially for someone like me who knew exactly what I was looking for. And prior to my appointment, I was able to go on the website and star a few dresses that I liked, and I was really hoping they had them in stock, but everything I liked was on clearance, so of course they didn't have them in the store, but I could have ordered them online had I chosen to do so. So I didn't get to try on any of those dresses, but I expected my consultant to look at those dresses and pull things in the similar price range or similar styles, but instead she didn't really help at all. She tried to look for them, but then didn't find anything. And instead of directing me to the clearance section or the section with dresses in my price point, which I had notified them of prior to even going to the appointment, because I am on a tight budget, I wanted to keep it under like $400. And instead of taking me straight to those dresses and saying like, you know, these dresses are beautiful, but they are out of your price point. If you want to look, you can, but otherwise I advise you to stay to this section. Instead, she didn't even show me the clearance section. I had no idea that it was even there. And she was kind of trying to show me dresses that were, you know, in the $1,200 range, which is pretty low for a wedding dress, but is still way out of my personal budget. And so I didn't really appreciate that, and I felt kind of uncomfortable and pressured in that way. And we were only allowed to try, or I was only allowed to try on 5 dresses. So that was kind of hard because my mom had pulled one that was definitely not my style, and I didn't even want to try it, but she kind of insisted. So that left me with 4 dresses, and I was looking in dresses that were out of my price range completely. So then I was directed to my fitting room, and while I was there, I felt very rushed, like she was trying to get me in and out of the dresses as quickly as possible, and I didn't have a moment to really take in the dress and figure out if I liked it or not. It was kind of like, okay, next dress, okay, next dress. And I didn't really appreciate that because I like to think things through and figure out, okay, I don't like this or I do like this. But the thing is, even if I did like a dress, everything was out of my price point and I didn't feel comfortable spending that anyways. And when I had communicated that with her, she said, well, we do have a credit card. You can put it on the credit card, or we have other financing options. The last dress that I had tried on was the only dress that I picked. And I wanted to try it first, but for some reason she really told me which dresses to put on in what order instead of letting me pick. And I think that's because she knew that I wanted that last dress. And she also knew that we were limited in time. And so I think that that was a strategic sales tactic. You know, put her in the dress she's probably gonna love last, where she's almost out of time, so she feels pressured to buy it, because that's exactly what happened. I put on this dress, I didn't have time to think about it. I didn't have a moment to really reflect the dress, feel it against my skin, and decide if I really did like it or if I was just caught in the moment. And as a sales consultant, that is awesome, you know, to pressure people like that, because then you're making a lot of commission. But as a bridal sales consultant, your main job is to make sure that your brides go home feeling absolutely thrilled with their purchase, not having buyer's remorse or feeling like they were pressured. And I definitely was pressured into buying that dress. But luckily, I knew what she was doing. I knew that my consultant was trying to pressure me into it. And I said, you know what? I see that clearance section over there. I have 15 minutes left in my appointment. I'm gonna go look. So I went over there. I looked. I didn't really see anything that caught my eye, but there was one dress, and it was by Vera Wang. It was on clearance for $3.99. And I thought, you know what? That's within my budget. It's pretty. It's not really what I was imagining, but I'm gonna try it. So I tried it on, and lo and behold, I fell in love with it. But the thing is, since I only had 15 minutes left in my appointment, she was really rushing me and trying to pressure me into getting the more expensive dress. But I knew that that one was out of the cards. Like, it was pretty, but I'll show you a picture of it right now. It wasn't evoking that feeling like, yes, this is my dress. I told her that I wanted to keep looking, and she was not gonna let that happen. So I tried on the Vera Wang, I fell in love with it, but once again, I really did want to, you know, think about it, try it on with different accessories, contemplate if it was the aesthetic that I wanted, because it was different than what I thought I wanted. But because the appointment time was almost up, she was like kind of pressuring me into getting it. The other issue, speaking of pressure, with David's Bridal is that they kept trying to upsell veils and belts, and some of the dresses I tried on were way too elaborate to be putting a belt with them. Like, as a consultant, I would have never picked some of the belts that this consultant had pulled because they just didn't match, and I never communicated that I wanted a belt or that I needed a belt. And yet she was taking time out of my very limited appointment time to go grab a belt and put it on me, even though I didn't communicate that I wanted that. And I later realized it's because the belts were like $100, $150. And so if there's a chance that they can slap a belt on there and tack up their commission, then they're gonna do that. And that just really left a bad taste in my mouth, because when you add accessories, it's to really enhance the look. When you add a veil, it's because you know that that bride is really loving that dress and you want to elevate the look for her to nail the sale. You don't add a veil and a belt that doesn't match to every single dress, taking 5 minutes out of every single dress, which adds up to about 20 minutes of my time where I could have tried on a different dress. There were dresses that I put on and I was like, no, this is an absolute no. And she'd be like, well, let me try it with a belt. Let me try it with a veil. I'm like, I don't like this dress. Adding a belt and a veil is not going to solidify that I like this dress. And the accessories she chose just did not match at all. And it just really bothered me that she was like pressuring me and rushing me through getting into the dresses and looking at them, but then she was taking her time adding these accessories that absolutely did not complement the dress. So that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And as a consultant, I would have never done that. But once again, as a bride who's never tried on anything before, maybe wouldn't have thought the same thing, but I don't know. Even my mom and my mother-in-law kind of felt like she was trying to upsell all these accessories that I never expressed that I wanted. The other issue that I have with David's Bridal is I feel like their accessories are definitely way overpriced. The belt that she had placed on the dress that I had tried on last, that I ended up purchasing, it looked better with a belt, I will say that. My dress absolutely needs some kind of embroidered or embellished belt because it's quite simple. But I didn't really care for the belt that she had put on there, but she didn't even give me a chance to express that. The people that I brought with me, my entourage, had said, yeah, oh yeah, it needs a belt for sure, but none of us ever said it needs that belt. And when I said, okay, yes, this is my dress, and we went to go pay, she had added that belt on and charged us, never said like, oh, just to clarify, did you want the belt as well? Because had she done that, I would have said, let me look at it one more time and then I'll decide. And I would have decided no, because to be honest, the belt is very poorly constructed and there are just some details on it that are really, really sloppily done. And you want to know how much this belt costed that we had no idea about until we looked at our receipt when we had left? $89. $89 for a poorly constructed belt that I could have ordered on Amazon for 10 bucks. So I'm really mad about that because she kind of like slid that in there. And to me, it just felt really slimy. And honestly, when I got home, I kind of wanted to take the dress and the belt back because it had really bothered me that much. I will be taking the belt back because all the tags are attached. It wasn't on sale. I've decided that I do love the dress, so even though that whole thing rubbed me the wrong way, I will be keeping the dress, but I don't know. The whole entire time I felt pressured, I felt uncomfortable, I felt rushed, and I did not feel like a bride who was trying on wedding dresses and living this like magical once-in-a-lifetime moment. Instead, I felt kind of sick to my stomach the whole time, like I was a burden or a bother, or like when I needed to go to the restroom, I had to run there in order to get back in time to try on my other dresses. I didn't really like my experience. And I will say they do have some incredible dresses for great prices. And so if you don't really care about the experience, maybe go in, try some things on, and just know that it's not going to be that magical. But if you really want that magical experience that I know that a lot of us kind of idealize in our head, I definitely recommend going to a smaller boutique because the perks are just completely different. The environment is completely different. They care about you as a bride instead of about the sale. I would have probably purchased a belt from there and shoes and jewelry had I felt a true connection with my consultant and had I felt like truly important and instead of rushed and pressured. So I don't know, do you want to go to David's Bridal? Have you been to David's Bridal and did you have a good experience? Let me know. Leave your experiences down below. So that is it for this review. I'm sorry if it sounded a little bit harsh. I'm just very passionate about this and I wish that I had gotten the same experience that I try to give to all of my brides, but instead I was upselled and pressured and I knew that it was gonna happen. I kind of had a feeling, but it is a little disappointing, you know? And I just don't want you to feel disappointed, and instead I'd rather you go into it expecting the worst and maybe be pleasantly surprised by your consultant than go into it anticipating and being so excited and then having them kind of disappoint you with their upselling and pressuring tendencies. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more wedding and DIY projects and just lifestyle related content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!